You waste your life when you wait for the world to become easier instead of training yourself to become stronger within it. A person who cannot sit quietly with their own thoughts will always search for distractions that weaken their clarity. The moment you stop expecting fairness from life is the moment you begin to see things clearly and act wisely. Your greatest strength will always come from your ability to remain steady when everything around you feels uncertain. Do not let comfort make you weak, because what feels easy today often creates struggle tomorrow. A mind that is constantly seeking more will never experience the peace that comes from appreciating enough. If you cannot control your anger, you will always be controlled by those who provoke it. The quality of your decisions determines the direction of your life, and those decisions are shaped by the discipline of your mind. Do not avoid difficult paths simply because they are hard, because they often lead to the strongest version of yourself. A person who fears discomfort will remain stuck, while a person who embraces it will continue to grow. You become dangerous in the best way when you no longer depend on others for your sense of worth. Every time you choose silence over unnecessary reaction, you strengthen your control over yourself. The world does not owe you peace. It is something you must create within yourself despite everything. If you want clarity, reduce the noise in your life, because too many distractions weaken your ability to think. Your habits quietly shape your future long before results become visible to anyone else. A wise person understands that not every battle deserves their energy, and that restraint is often a form of strength. You will find freedom when you stop trying to control everything and focus only on what is truly yours to control. The more you resist reality, the more you suffer. The more you accept it, the more clearly you can act. A disciplined life may feel restrictive at first, but it eventually becomes the foundation of true freedom. Do not let temporary pleasure distract you from long-term purpose, because purpose gives meaning that pleasure cannot sustain. A person who trains their mind daily becomes stronger than one who relies only on moments of motivation. You do not need recognition to grow, because the most important progress happens within you. The less you react to negativity, the less power it has over your thoughts and actions. Your life improves when you stop complaining about problems and start solving them with focus and patience. A strong mind does not collapse under pressure. It adapts, learns, and continues forward. Do not fear being misunderstood, because clarity within yourself matters more than approval from others. The more you control your desires, the less you will feel controlled by circumstances. Every difficult moment you endure is proof that you are capable of more than you once believed. A person who has learned patience can handle situations that overwhelm those who seek immediate results. You cannot build a strong life on weak habits, because consistency is the foundation of everything worthwhile. The more you practice awareness, the easier it becomes to separate useful thoughts from harmful ones. Do not rush your growth, because lasting strength is built slowly through repeated effort. A calm mind sees solutions where a restless mind only sees obstacles. You are responsible for your reactions, even when you are not responsible for what happens to you. The less you rely on external approval, the more independent and confident your mind becomes. A person who understands themselves clearly cannot be easily shaken by the opinions of others. Your thoughts are tools. Use them wisely, or they will work against you without your awareness. Do not let fear decide your actions, because it often leads you away from the very growth you need. A stable life is built through small, disciplined choices repeated over time, not through sudden bursts of effort. You gain strength each time you choose what is right instead of what is easy. The more you accept uncertainty, the more adaptable and resilient you become. Do not chase a life without problems. Build a mind that can handle any problem. Your peace is protected when you learn to let go of things that are not within your control. A person who acts with intention wastes less time and lives with greater clarity. You do not need to react to everything, because silence often preserves your energy and focus. The more you reflect on your actions, the more control you gain over your future decisions. A wise mind understands that growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels rewarding. You become stronger when you stop avoiding challenges and start facing them with purpose. Do not let distractions steal the time you could use to build a better version of yourself. A person who is patient and disciplined will always outperform someone who relies only on talent. You do not become strong by avoiding difficulty, but by repeatedly facing what you once believed you could not handle and discovering that you can endure more than you thought. The mind that constantly seeks control over everything outside itself will always remain restless, but the mind that focuses inward will find stability even in uncertainty. Peaceful life is not built by removing problems, but by building the inner discipline required to face any problem without losing clarity. If you allow every passing emotion to dictate your actions, you will live a life shaped by impulse rather than wisdom. The strongest people are not those who never fall, but those who rise each time with greater understanding and less fear. Do not let your past define your limits, because growth begins the moment you decide that yesterday's version of you is not your final form. A person who learns to remain calm under pressure gains an advantage that no external circumstance can take away. You will suffer less when you stop demanding that life should always go according to your expectations. True discipline is not about restriction, but about choosing long-term strength over short-term comfort again and again. The more you depend on external validation, the more fragile your sense of self becomes in its absence. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to refine your character, even if it does not feel like it at the moment. A clear mind does not come from avoiding chaos, but from learning how to think clearly within it. If you cannot control your thoughts, you will always feel controlled by them, no matter where you go or what you achieve. The habit of reacting immediately often creates problems that patience and reflection could have prevented. A wise person does not waste energy on what is already gone, but uses it to build what can still be changed. You become mentally free when you stop attaching your happiness to outcomes that are not guaranteed. Do not confuse temporary discomfort with failure, because most growth requires you to pass through discomfort first. A strong mind does not break under pressure. It becomes more focused, more deliberate, and more aware. The less you try to control people, the more control you gain over your own peace of mind. Your attention is valuable, and whatever you give it to will begin to shape your emotional state. If you want to grow, you must accept that discomfort is not a sign of danger, but a sign of progress. A disciplined life is not about punishment, but about building the kind of strength that comfort alone can never provide. You do not need perfect conditions to act wisely. You only need a clear mind and a steady intention. The more you simplify your life, the easier it becomes to focus on what truly matters. A person who masters patience gains the ability to outlast chaos without losing their inner stability. Your reactions define your character more than your intentions ever will. Do not let external noise convince you to abandon your principles, because consistency builds inner strength. The mind becomes powerful when it learns to observe without immediately reacting to everything it perceives. A meaningful life is built through consistent effort, not occasional bursts of motivation. You cannot change everything around you, but you can always change the way you respond to it. The less you expect from others, the less disappointment you will carry in your life. A calm person is not someone without problems, but someone who refuses to let problems take control of their mind. Every moment you choose discipline over distraction is a step toward a stronger version of yourself. You will find clarity when you stop overthinking what you cannot control and start acting on what you can. A wise mind understands that most worries exist only in imagination, not in reality. If you want inner peace, stop negotiating with your fears and start acting despite them. The ability to stay grounded during emotional storms is a skill that must be practiced, not hoped for. Your life becomes simpler when you stop trying to satisfy every desire that appears in your mind. A strong character is built through repeated decisions that no one else sees, but always matter deeply. You do not need to react to every insult or challenge, because silence often preserves your power. The more you accept uncertainty, the more resilient you become in the face of change. A person who controls their focus controls the direction of their life. Do not chase comfort if you want growth, because growth and comfort rarely exist together. The world will not always behave as you want it to, but your response to it can always be improved. A wise individual learns to detach from outcomes while still putting full effort into actions. You become unshakable when your peace is no longer dependent on external approval or success. The more you train your mind to stay steady, the less power chaos has over you. Do not rush through life without awareness, because presence is what gives meaning to experience. A disciplined mind does not avoid difficulty. It uses difficulty as fuel for improvement.